Welcome back to Arkansas Basketball Recap, that show that recaps every Arkansas basketball game, including the Arkansas Razorbacks 71 to 63 loss to the Florida Gators. And I mean, we're here to do it. And let me tell you, the shooting percentage continues to go down. I said multiple times, like not really worried about the three-point shooting or just the shooting in general, because I had lots of reasons not to be, because the percentages were fine. But in SEC play, the percentages have not been fine. And if you want to know from anywhere, by the way, free throw line, under the basket, 3-point line, whatever, any place on the floor. I mean, the difference in this game is Arkansas just didn't make enough shots. That's it. I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, you can go to some rebounding stuff and like that kind of stuff can help you, but like, I'm usually the guy saying that that's how you win games and stuff. But you do have to. I mean, until like the last minute of the game, they were like 1 of 15 or something from the 3-point line. And you're just like, well, I mean, you're just not going to win very many games doing that. Like, I mean, no matter
Well,
what else you do,
they hit more than that in the first. They just hit all their threes in the first three
they finished.
minutes.
Not, dude, they finished the game 3 of 16.
I know. I'm telling you, they hit those in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That run we went on
But
them.
Boogie hit that one late. I think they only hit two in that run.
They definitely hit two in that early run when they got
Yeah.
13. But yeah,
Free
I mean,
throws, 3-pointers.
if
I
you
mean,
this
just
is
got to make
another
them.
one where you look at the stats and they're 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 pretty even all the way down. I mean, they did out rebound us. That hurt, but it wasn't excruciating, especially when you look at what they did to Tennessee and then what Tennessee did to us.
Mm,
If you said, yeah, I got out rebounded by 9, you'd probably take it.
mm,
Um, I mean, that's not an excuse. I still would like to rip into them. They've got to do better. Hey, here's an idea. How about we out rebound a team? You could
yeah.
do that. By the way, that's possible.
Yeah.
Now, we're not a team. This isn't VCU with, you know, we just brought in a bunch of undersized guys that nobody thought was big enough to compete in at the major level. So we got a bunch of 5'10" and 6 foot, guys, and our tallest guy is 6'4", and we've got 10 of them, and we cycle them in and five at a time, and they just play balls to the wall. You guys are as athletic as those guys.
Yeah.
You explain to me why they can rebound better than you. I'm waiting to hear it.
Yeah.
And I want to hear something that other than because they care more than you do. Because
Yeah.
I can't think of another reason. You think there's a guy out there that has more? Was there a guy on the Florida night more athletic than Thoreau?
No, I don't think so. No.
Like, you guys can rebound. The difference between in rebounding is effort and paying attention. You got to be engaged. You got to be giving effort, and it has to be all the time. But if you look at everything else, the percentages, the amount of shots we took were not that, there wasn't a big differential. The amount of everything, the only difference is our percentages. We're not making shots. We're shooting 18% from the 3-point line and 30% from the floor. And they're shooting, and it's not like they're killing it. You're not getting, sometimes you play a team, you're like, dude, you're going to lose if a team's going to shoot 64% from the floor.
Okay. Well,
They shot
let
under 40%.
play this game. If I said to you, all right, yeah, you don't know the score or anything, but here's what I will give you these percentages. Florida, you're going to hold Florida to 39% from the floor, 28% from three, 65% from the free throw line. I'd be like, I'll take it.
Yeah, those aren't like, it's not like, oh, we dominated them. 40% from the floor is like, that's right at the edge of not
It's
that
fine.
great,
It's fine.
but yeah, it's fine.
28% from three. I'd be like, all right, like, yeah,
Yeah, that's
sure.
good. I'd be like,
And
yeah, I feel good about that.
65% from the free throw line. Oh yeah, for sure. It's yeah,
You're
dude.
trying to
Like,
figure out when you look at those numbers, you're like, well, we didn't get torched at the 3-point line. There's just no way if they shot under 30%.
well, they made well
And
the difference. It's the difference in the game. We made three, they made eight. That's the game.
hmm,
I mean that it's not a lot. They had 15 more points from the 3-point line than we did. and it's the whole game. That's it. Um, and I don't like it to be that way, but I mean that's just the way it is. I'm not like a live by the three, die by the three kind of guy. I don't like teams that do that. I think teams that do that pay for it. But I do know that in modern basketball, you can't make three of them. I mean, you just can't.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
so I mean, to me, like that's the difference. The defense, it was. I mean, this is a team averaging like 87 points a game or something like that. Like they scored 71 points. Like that's just, the defense. Again, there's like little lapses that are frustrating, but like that's going to happen. Like in most basketball games, you're going to see stuff like that happen. Uh, Overall, like the defense was plenty good to win this game. Like it wasn't the problem. They did
Yeah,
not lose this game because of
the defense
defense.
is frustrating at times because a lot of the times when they have a lapse, it's something very, very preventable. It's
Mhm.
like turning your head and getting backdoor cut. You know what I mean? And letting it happen on two plays in a row. And but like you said, I mean, nobody plays perfect. It's not like Florida wasn't going to score. And when you look at the numbers, you go, that's, maybe you hope to fix those little holes, plug those holes in the boat. And, you hope like next time you play a team like Florida, maybe you have them score in the 60s and you lower those percentages by 2 or 3% each one. But like you said, still you go, that's not terrible defense, even though you have some of these like stupid, sort of not paying attention situations. The problem is very obviously the offense.
Well, and at times the defense looks really, really good. That is the thing, is that it's not. What I mean by it's not the defense is that like this isn't a team that you watch and then you say like, dude, the defense is the problem here, because there's a lot of times where they play great defense, and I'd say the bulk of the game they play good defense. There's times where they play great defense, and there's some defensive lapses which happen. It's not the most elite defense I've ever seen, but you're like, I mean, according to the rankings, Arkansas is a good defensive team. They hold opponents' field goal percentages low. They don't let they're not letting teams score 90 points on them and that kind of stuff. They're not doing that. So you're like, yeah, the defense is good enough to win basketball games for sure. The issue is we just couldn't put the ball in the hole, and
Well,
you
and
know,
even on the defensive side, like you said, it's you can play like the defense is what is it? It's a 6.8. It's very, very okay. Like you said, I mean, if you're letting scheme teams score in the 70s, then you're going to have to be a better than average offense in order to overcome that, because it means you're going to need to score 80 points. And teams that consistently score 80 points are decent offensive teams. And what we talked about last week is this team doesn't have an identity on any side of the ball. And so their defense is good enough, but not if you're not a good offense. And they're not only not a good offense, their identity is starting to take shape as a bad offensive team.
yeah,
As a not, I'm not, I don't want to overstate it. I'm not talking about terrible. Obviously, they have guys that can play, but below average offensive team. And if you're going to be a slightly above average defensive team, not great, but okay. If you're an okay defensive team, you can't be a below average offensive team. You got to pick one. If you're going to be a below average offensive team, then you better play defense like you better be holding teams to the 60s. You know what I mean? Because there's
yeah,
just no way to do it otherwise. You can't be mediocre at both things. That is a recipe for being the team that we've been talking about in the SEC that has a lot of good players, but they have a lot of losses. And right now, we are on a fast track to be that team in the SEC where you go, man, look at the talent on this team that has not making the tournament. That
yeah,
is,
yeah.
how can this team not be making the tournament? The SEC is brutal, and they just lost a ton of close games. Unfortunately, we're not even really losing close games. I mean, that game was kind of close, but we're getting solidly beat by 10 points, 15 points, 20 points. You know what I mean? We're not. The game isn't even in question in the final minute. Is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, they had this game was close. I mean, like in the sense that, I mean, they had it down to three with 7 minutes left or something like that, or 6 minutes left, something like that. Um, that was their chance, and they couldn't capitalize on it. I think I'm still not like ready to jump ship for two reasons. I mean, one is that like I've seen these guys just in the sample size make shots, and so like shots didn't go in tonight, that's for sure. But like it's not like you have to change a bunch of stuff. Like you just need to get your mojo back and start seeing the ball go through the hole. Like we know that I've seen Boogie make a bunch of shots. I've seen Janelle Davis, not just in the sample size, but I know he can shoot. Like, so you got to get there's a funk go like there's a shoot. You're in a shooting slump collectively that like hopefully like there's at least there's not a zero chance that you get out of, and you're like, hey man, like you got to start having the ball go in. There's that, and then also there is the historic uh, nature of Calipari teams that says like, yeah, this happens sometimes, and like his teams are way better in February than they are in January or whatever. But so there's those things. I think too, like um, this team needs someone to just step up and be the guy. And I don't mean like this necessarily even like the guy to score, like just going to take over the scoring or something like that. But just to bring the passion and stuff. And by the way, I thought they played hard. And I'm not saying that they're not passionate or whatever, but they need a leader. And I think DJ just needs to be that guy. Like DJ just
Well,
needs
he's
to be
definitely
the
got to be
guy.
better, dude. He's got to have more than what do you have, 11?
He had nine. DJ had nine, but I saw glimpses of him. Like I just need to hit him to decide that he's gonna uh you know lead by like just get up in these guys, get them rallied up. I know he's only a sophomore, but I think he's the most equipped to do it. I will say this too. I liked Jonas tonight. Jonas finishes he had 11 points, 9 rebounds, but I liked that we were getting him the ball in some spots. I like that, I like
I
the
didn't
three
I didn't like
blocks.
I didn't like the spots they were giving it to him. One of the most embarrassing things with that offense, and it was emblematic, I think, of what we've been talking about, where you're like, what the hell is going on with this offense? Is multiple times with Jonas dribbling the ball around and no one coming to him.
Yeah, that's not even his fault.
No, he's just standing out there and he's like, is somebody going to come take this ball? This guy's pressuring me, and now I'm being forced to dribble. You got your 7 footer 37 feet from the basket dribbling out of half court, like with guys coming at him, and like you and I'm watching the other players and they're standing there.
Well, by the
I'm like, what
way,
is going on?
also he didn't do a half bad job when he got stuck in those spots. He didn't turn the ball over, which was pretty
Well, no,
good.
that's another thing. I mean, the turnovers are not bad.
No, like I mean, we had 8 turnovers out. I'm fine. That's fine. Uh, but I just thought that like I mean Jonas was getting him in the ball in the block a couple times, just him rolling to the basket and giving it to him. Like if he gets the ball in his hands going towards the basket, good things are probably going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, he was better tonight. I'm still disappointed with our post play. I mean, dude, there's nothing. It's nothing to
Well,
sneeze at.
he's your only guy that
9 rebounds is fine. I'd like to see somebody with like 18 rebounds. Now I know that's crazy, but
dude. That's probably 4 guys have done that all season.
what I'm saying is there multiple times, and you don't have to do it every night. That's fine. That performance is fine, but I'd like to see that be your like baseline.
Yeah,
And I'd like to see 12, 13, and 14 be your average. And I would like to see a game where you're like, holy moly, he's tearing it up tonight. He's got 17 rebounds. Because by the way, I've seen that. I saw that with Mitchell. I saw that with other big guys that aren't as high rated as him.
yeah,
Like because I mean you're 7 foot tall and you're in the post.
yeah, yeah.
And like I said, it's okay. He was okay tonight. I actually thought the only person that I thought like tried really hard to like look like he was like putting in extra effort was Brazil. And now Brazil, like I said, I feel bad for him because a lot of times he still has his back turned and lets a guy come around him.
Hmm.
But he was trying hard.
Yeah,
You could
Brazil.
tell he was.
But he had 7 points, 6 rebounds. He had 3 steals. 2 blocks. I mean, he was playing hard for sure. I mean, I didn't think the energy was a problem. I mean, they came out like the. It's not. I don't want anyone to think that I'm like saying that these guys aren't putting forward effort like that. It's
I
not that.
am. I'll say it. I think they aren't. I don't think that they're
On the
playing.
you just mean on the rebounding or just period?
Period. I think that they play in spurts of energy, and I think. I mean, I think yeah, I think they're playing hard, and I think they're playing really hard. If you got a bunch of rec league guys up there, I think they'd smoke them. But this is the SEC, and I'm just telling you, those guys on Florida's team are not better than the guys on Arkansas's team. But they're beating them. They're beating them to balls. They're beating them to loose balls. They are playing better. They're not staying
Is that a
in
is
front of them
that a
sometimes.
coaching thing?
No, and the thing is, like, they're just what it is so far. For what I see, is these guys, and this. I mean, I can hear Kentucky fans being like, "Welcome to our world." It feels at times like, I mean, we maybe we need the UCLA coach to come in here and give us that speech. But like, these guys have all been labeled as pro spot prospects since they were 12 years old, and they think that it's going to come together magically on its own. Like, if they and they don't realize that you have to make it, you have to manifest destiny here. You have got to put in the effort, and it can't be in spurts. Like, they get ahead by a little bit and they start having a little flow, and then they let up, they let off the gas. And I mean, they do that seasonally. They're doing that from game to game too. And it's the biggest disappointment about these last two games has been the SEC started. This is the real season. Everybody knows this is probably the best. This may be the best. Time will tell, but this may be the best league in the history of college basketball, possibly this year. And this is another thing that's scary about those. Like, if you're just hoping, I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying if somebody's hoping that like Calipari teams get better, yeah, they get better in an SEC where there's only like two teams ranked in the top 25, and there's only six teams going to make the tournament, and they've got a lot of teams on the lower half of that they can beat up on. I'm not so sure that you can count on that this year, but uh this league is so strong, and they came in, they got their asses kicked by Tennessee. No real, shame. You were on the road, number one team in the country, tough way to start. They followed that up with seemingly no sense of desperation, no sense of, we've got the number six team coming in here to our house. We can't lose two games at home. We can't start this. First off, we can't start the season in a 0-3 hole. And we definitely can't. We've talked about this. Like, you have to win at home because the road games are like, you may not get any of those. You literally might not get any road wins. So you can't go into a hole at home. And instead of and you're like, you got to be looking to Florida and going, that's going to be a tough game that there's no guarantee we can win. We have to beat Old Miss. There's just no way around it. And it didn't feel like that team had any sense of desperation. Even in the second half, when it was like we were starting to lose, there wasn't a panicking like, holy crap, this is like, if we lose this, we're not making the tournament. Kind of, I'm talking about that kind of desperation. Like, this is my season going down the toilet. It felt more like, and I'm not saying this for sure, but I'm saying this is what people would say about Kentucky teams earlier when you had all these pro players on there. They'd go, these guys don't care the way the other guys care because they're like, whatever, I'm going to be playing in the NBA in 2 years, whatever. I'm going to be making millions of dollars later. So it's like, I'm not saying they have that attitude, but it's like in the back of their mind, they're like, yeah, sure, it'd be fun to win some college basketball games. It'd be fun to make the tournament, but like, whatever. I'm looking at the NBA now. I don't want to think that that's the case, and I hope Calipari can turn this around. But I'm saying, I'm like, I was the fact that they would lose to Old Miss and then come out and lay that egg.
I just see that's the thing.
It
I just think they didn't make shot. I didn't think it was an egg. I mean I thought the Ole Miss game was way more disappointing and discouraging than this game.
the thing is, yeah, you don't make shots. Stop shooting shots. Then
Well,
start putting your head down and go to the hole.
well, they went to the free throw line 35 times. I mean, they shot 35 free throws. Like, I mean, I think that's what they did do. Uh, but I mean, I mean, you can't just do that. If you don't shoot shots, then you're just going to pack the paint and then you're just going to throw stuff. I mean, you saw Boogie doing that, just throwing stuff
You
up.
got
Okay.
it. All I'm saying is you got to win.
No, I understand. I understand. See, I just thought I thought this. See, I'm less disappointed with this game than the Ole Miss game. Because
Well,
Ole
the only
Miss.
reason I'm more disappointed in it is because it comes on the heels of the Ole Miss game, which was embarrassing.
Well,
And so you
I
should
just
come
think
out.
Florida is way better than Ole Miss.
I don't think they're better. I don't think that they're better man for man than Arkansas.
No, I don't
And
either.
this is
But
and
I
this is
think the
another
different.
thing
I
that's
think
a
the
bummer about
talent.
if you're
I think the athletes on Florida are uh, Florida's a better team than Ole Miss. Like the players they have are better.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like the bigs. They got four bigs that they're running in there, four guards that they're running in there. They have way more experience. They're way older than Arkansas, and that kind of stuff matters. But the Old Miss thing was, and I thought our effort sucked more against Old Miss than it did against Florida, even
well,
though we shot the ball horribly.
and it's like I said, all I know is another double-edged sword for Calipari is if you're the bummer about being able to recruit as well as you did recruit and as you do recruit is when the team's struggling, it ain't because you ain't got the guys.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for
there's so
sure.
there's not so there's not a lot of other places to point the finger.
Yep. No, I think so.
Because whether it be that they're not gelling, that they don't work, you recruited them, you got the ingredients, you best figure out a way to make something work. And like I said, I don't want to be completely.
I just think that I just don't know. I think just a lot of times we don't know what we're trying to do. And that which for sure is a coaching thing. And I know that Kentucky fans would say like, yeah, that's the whole deal, dude. On offense, he just it's just pass the ball up top and then someone goes one on one to the basket. Like that's the whole deal. But I think that that's the bigger problem when you're sending guys out there and they're trying to do what you're telling them to do, but what you're telling them to do isn't working. I mean, because I don't. It's not like I see us run like some sweet plays and then we miss like the finish. I don't know. That's not what I see going on. I see more like pass it around and then go do something, And it's not as wasn't like it didn't look the same as like out of timeouts when like Florida would get exactly what they were looking for because they ran whatever the heck it was that Todd Golden drew up. Like I don't see a lot of that, and so you know, with you can put a lot on the players, but the players are also like they're not call, I mean they're not gonna draw up their own plays, like they're trying to run whatever it is that you're drawing up, and I'm not 100% sure what that is other than some a ball screen handoff, go get downhill like I
And like I said, not to be over, cat, catastrophizing, but because they certainly could crawl their way back into this, but um, right now we've got to observe what say it like it is what we've observed so far, and they're getting worse, not better in the SEC. And I mean, even if you can, even though obviously the Tennessee loss was worse, they haven't improved. They don't look like they've built on that and learned from that. And that's like I said, there's just I want something. There's just nothing I can grab onto to be like, well, this is something we can work with, or this is something we can build on. They did this better. Like, I mean, I guess they only got out rebounded by 10 instead of 18. Like that's not a good sign. You know what I
yeah.
mean? When you're like, the one thing they did better is they didn't get as badly out efforted as in the previous games where they got embarrassed. So, I mean, we got to call like this. And like I said, all this being said, I still think, what we said last time is true. Arkansas bringing Calipari here was absolutely the right move. It was the right thing to do. And it's certainly possible that Kentucky fans are 100% right and Calipari don't have a fastball no more. And this thing's going to crash and burn and it's going to hurt. But I mean, I'm not there yet, but so far, the indication I'm looking for the evidence that they're not. I mean, I'm desperate to find it. And, but I mean, what are you going to do? It's getting bad.
What it
A 3 game hole in the SEC, like
Yeah.
you're
We
you're
got to
you're
go
messing
and our
you're
next two
messing
games are on the
around with not
road.
making the tournament. Yeah, you're messing around with not making the tournament.
Yeah, we have to go. We have both our games are on the road next week. So that's rough.
Dude, March is going to be here so fast.
No, it is, and dude, I mean, I know it's everyone's schedule, but you do feel like, and we haven't played a non-ranked team yet. Like, I mean, I know there's a couple of non-ranked teams in the SEC. Like, I mean, how front-loaded can this thing be? And you're like, oh, you're about to get some. You're like, yeah, on the road. I mean, come on, man. Like, like
Dude,
what is this?
we have already become, I mean, it sucks, dude, but we've already become, we're one of the teams that people are looking forward to on their schedule.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying
Since
I'm not saying they're looking at it as a definite win, but they're looking, I mean, of all the teams, they're looking at it and going, well, maybe it looks like we can beat Arkansas.
do you think? Okay, like, what about this stuff? Like, Thero plays 20 minutes because of foul trouble. Like, does does that help if that doesn't happen?
Yeah, I mean, he was our high scorer, right? 17.
Yeah, it's 17 points in 20 minutes
Yeah, I mean, that helps.
because you're gonna need more than 20 minutes out of him,
hmm
right? So like, there's that. Um, Nelly, I felt bad for Nelly. I mean, Nelly goes 0 for
He
8.
he was terrible, dude.
Yeah, and it's just like, you're like, how often is that gonna happen? Like 0 for 8, dude. Like, um, you feel like that's. I mean, he's not been like awesome shooting the ball, but you're like 0 for 8 is not good. I mean, he's been shooting what, a high 30s. So yeah, that sucks. What do you make of just breaking down some of this stuff? I mean, so DJ has to play 39 minutes in this game. Um, Boogie plays 34 minutes. Jonas, this has to be the high minutes for him. He played 32 minutes. That must be the most minutes he's played all year. And then Trevin plays 27, and you have Thero playing 20. John L. Davis plays 20. Billy Richmond only gets 4 minutes. Um, that's I guess not that surprising. Big Z 6 minutes. This is like back-to-back games. I mean, really, since the SEC play started, he has
Mhm.
been. Can he just not hang? Is that what it is?
I don't know. I mean, he
I
put
mean,
him out. I think he's kind of rolling him out there and seeing what he does, and he didn't like what he was doing.
I mean, I know that like his pick and roll coverage is not good. Okay, and I know that pick and roll it gets run like every game in the SEC. So like, and I know that you don't want him in switches really like on the perimeter. It's not a good thing, and it's not. And it's not. I mean, what, he's 7'2". Like, I mean, like of course you don't. Um, but in a game where you can't shoot the basketball a little bit, you're like, I don't know, can he go? I mean, he took like one shot. I think. Well, I guess he had that like kind of reversey layup thingy that happened, which actually I didn't mind because at least he was like trying to bang in the post a little bit. But I
He
don't
should have
know.
went up on his own side though.
Yeah, yeah, just get fouled, you know.
hmm
But so like the rotation is like shorter than you might think. Like you're like, hey, the rotation's 9 guys. It's like kinda, but like Billy's getting 4 minutes and Z's getting 6 minutes. It's 7 guys really. And I mean,
And
even Carter Knox only played 18 minutes. And and he would and those were like kind of just like like at like 3 minutes at a time kind of thing, right?
hmm
And dude, his minutes, I bet you Carter Knox plays less than 18 minutes if Thero's not in foul trouble and only plays 20 minutes.
yeah, probably. I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, I was worried about our rotation, and that was if somebody gets hurt. Nobody's even hurt yet, and it's tight.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
tight. And I just think that like if Thero plays more than 20 minutes, like it does help you on the glass. It obviously helps you defensively and obviously helps you offensively. I mean, he's your leading scorer, and it wasn't like he took a ton of shots. He was just 17 points, took 10 shots. You know, so just like stuff that I think maybe would have made a little bit of a difference. I think he's Thero at least is a guy. I mean, Boogie's a tough matchup, but not in the same way that Thero is. Like he's a hard cover. Like you gotta like there's not you probably have guys on your roster that you can say, hey, you're guarding Boogie Fland, and like you're like, hey, he's quick and he might get around you and stuff, but you can kind of go back and forth with him or whatever. Thero's it's got to be the toughest cover on the team, right? Like as far as just like a physical match, you need a dude that's like big enough, strong enough, fast enough.
Dude, one of the problems too is offensively in this team is like, I mean, one, they're asking Boogie to do a lot. And as a freshman, I mean, good Lord, what if he was worse? What if he was more like a freshman guard? I mean, holy moly. You know what I mean? Like we'd
And by
be
the way,
like,
you made that sound like he was terrible. Like what if he was even worse? Like it's
no,
just,
I'm saying
yeah,
he's doing really, really well, but I'm saying
yeah,
like I think he's doing better than you could have expected. What if he was turning the ball over,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
at a higher clip and wasn't scoring as efficiently? Like, I mean, you could be in even worse shape. One of the problems with this team is like if you look at obviously teams like Kentucky and these other teams, like they'll have like three or four guys that and on any given night, if they get hot,
Mm,
you know, they can score inside out and they could get hot. They could hit four threes. They could do a bunch of dribble drive and hit a couple jump shots. They could fool around and get 27,
yeah.
20, 24. You know, maybe on a really crazy night, 33. It's like and I'm talking about any one of these guys. Like they have like four guys that can do that. We don't have any of the guys that do like if the our guys, our leading scorers are scoring in the high teens, and that's okay, but
And
it would be
they're
nice.
doing it consistently. They are pretty consistent. And I mean, Boogie had 15. In most games, he's gonna like. I mean, I think that's right where he averages. Right, he's averaging 15. Like, and he's pretty consistent about getting it. Right.
I know, but we need the guys that if they get hot, we need Thero and Boogie. Uh, and I mean, I guess I mean not really probably Knox. I mean, I would like to see even a do, but like it'd be nice if those guys, like if you're like on any given night, one of those guys can go for 26.
I
Now, I mean,
think
I know they could,
I
but
think
they
I
haven't.
I think Boogie Fland will have a 28-point game before the season's over. Like he'll have that game. Thero probably will too. Like he'll probably just get fouled 30 times or something or
I know,
something.
but
But
we need each of those guys to have two and three quarters of those games on different nights.
yeah,
We need
yeah.
four guys that go for 30, two games on different nights. And
I'm telling
because I
you,
mean,
I'm telling you right now, Nelly's gonna have a game where he goes 5 of 5 from three. Like at some point, like it's gonna happen. Uh, how about next? How about hey? How about next game, Nelly? Why not? Like let's just go. Let's go into. We got Missouri next. Is that what we got? Uh,
yeah, we're recording this right. I mean, later in the night when it happened, like it's Kentucky's playing right now. Don't tell me what's
they
happening,
oh, I already know.
but
It's over.
this this could be a bummer because the Must Bus went into Illinois, a team that beat us, smacked them around a little bit.
Yeah, they're that was a great win for them, but they've lost to some bad teams.
I
He's on
know,
the
but I'm just saying
struggle.
this is rounding out to be a bad week for Arkansas. Um, but I mean, we should talk about the real reason we lost and the thing that like all the students we need to clip this part right here because no one's
Was it
gonna. No,
the blue pants?
it was absolutely the outfit Calipari's wearing. I'm not on social media, but we have got to start a hashtag or however it works these days. These kiddos, we got to clip this part because no one's listening right now. We're talking to ourselves, and we got to get a campaign going like red ass Calipari, and it'll have a double meaning. That one, we need him to get be an old fashioned red ass coach, like one of the old guys from the '60s, and start throwing chairs around that place. And you need to have red on your ass, red, the color crimson. What was that outfit? He could have been coaching for any school in the country in that outfit.
What was it?
There
So
wasn't
he had like a was it like a gray jacket, like a dark like a charcoal jacket, and then
not there wasn't a blot of red on
no,
him.
he had blue pants on, and then he had like what color was his undershirt?
just white, I think.
Yeah, and then he had like a
And
charcoal like and a
and
charcoal
he had
jacket and a
a
blue.
kerchief. You would think the kerchief's going to be red, right? I mean, you got to have a splash. Got to
Hey,
put a
your
splash red.
his assistant coaches had red handkerchiefs.
His was like just tan,
I think it was blue. It's
dude. I
even that's
mean,
the worst. Dude. Of
I
all the
knew we were.
by the
I
way,
think that's the same outfit he was wearing when we lost to Illinois.
dude,
And
here's what I'm telling you. You with the one color you can't wear is blue. Go all gray. You want to put on a brown suit, whatever. Like, but you can't wear blue.
I'm rejecting it. I'm saying get some red on, dude. It's the Hogs. Get some red on.
Yeah.
You can wear white, a white like polo with a big freaking hog on the chest. You know what I mean? Like you can wear a nice long sleeve athletic half zip up with a big freaking hog on the chest. That's fine.
Yeah.
You can't be wearing no suit jacket looking like you're going to the Elks Club and nobody knows what team you work for. What is going on? Get some red on, or we're going to keep losing.
Well, and what's weird is in the post game, he's always like changed out of that, and he's always wearing like a red or white quarter zip. I'm like, I know you're old school and you wear a suit jacket in your games most of the time. I don't know, dude. Like that thing that you wear to the press conference, though, let's just go ahead and wear that.
Dude, I'm about to go down there. If this keeps up, I'm going down there with like a water balloon full of red paint. I'm going to dunk it on him. I'm going to throw it on him. I'm going to go to jail and get kicked out of Bud Walton Arena. Or
For
maybe I'll do it
life.
before he comes. I'm going to take a paintball gun, dude. I'm going to splat him up.
Well, that is probably the whole thing right there. Yeah, I need to see like yeah, dude, just rock the slobber hog.
Whatever you got to do. I mean,
I'll take the forward facing hog at this, which I hate.
oh, well, guys, we'll get him next season, I suppose.
Hey, don't be like that. I mean, let's see here. Here's the so we got. Oh, I was wrong. Okay, so we got at LSU at Missouri. That is tough because it's two road games. But I mean, LSU, you feel like maybe you can get that one. Um, I don't know this. Like I just looked at like this is telling me I can get tickets as low as $2. God dang, LSU. What in the
For the
world?
LSU game?
I
Dang.
guess. I don't know. That's what it says. Anyway, and then
Well, if they keep doing this, you'll be able to get $2 tickets to the Hogs game pretty
hey,
soon.
let me say this. Hey, good job to the fans though, because um there's like a bunch of snow and stuff outside, and I know people have been saying, "Hey, Bud Walton hasn't been rocking," and a lot of that's just the opponents that we played in the in the non-con schedule and stuff. But even against Ole Miss, it was like not completely full or whatever, and but it was loud in there when they went on some runs and stuff, and you could tell, and it was full, and so good on the fans because I do think that's important. That like I don't know what comes first. I don't know if it's the team does good, so then the fans support it, or the fans need to get there and support it so they can feed off the energy. I don't know, whatever. But I know this. Listen to me, guys. If you're one like you can't just go to the and go buy tickets to a Razorback game. You got to go get them on the market. They're all sold out. So you have to go buy them on the secondary market. And if you're one of these season ticket holders and you bought season tickets, listen, man, like you have to either go to the game or give those tickets to someone else. Okay? That's what needs to happen here. Like you need to either go like as a fan, you either need to go or give them away. Like I don't even want you like charging for them on top. You bought season tickets, man. Either go or knock on your neighbor's door and ask him if he wants to take his son to his first Razorback game or whatever. Like you got to make sure the tickets are getting used because it is like don't that's not be an embarrassment that we can't like fill up our arena when I know we can, but the midweek games, if you're a season ticket holder, you don't want to go, and then you just sit on them, or you put them on StubHub for $185 or whatever. Don't do that stuff. Like either use them or give them to someone else. Get on Facebook and say, "Hey, I got 2 tickets to the Razorback game. Who
Well,
wants them?" And
they
give them
if
away.
you yeah, you wouldn't have any trouble giving them away, no doubt about that.
Come
You could
on,
even
man.
give them, I mean, charge some for them, but if you wanted to.
Get in the messages, the comments of this video. Give them to us. Okay, it's fine. Like, and if we can't, if we're busy, I'll find someone. Like I'd like to. Jake and I would like to volunteer to get rid of your season tickets on games. Like, I'll find some. I know people that will go. So like,
I'll go.
I'll go. If I can't go, I'll take them off your hands. I'll make sure that that seat is filled. Come on, guys. That is annoying to me, and I don't like it. And so
I'm actually gonna need somebody's season tickets to get in there and hit Calipari with that water balloon.
there you
So
go. Anyway, all right. No one saw, no one, I'm sure no one listened to that. It'd be hilarious if like 25 people were like, all right, I got 2 tickets and I have to get, somehow we have to figure out 50 tickets to give away. That'd be
dude,
awesome.
that's not going to happen. That you can get if you're not charging, you can get Hogs tickets at people. There's plenty of Hogs fans that want to go.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, let's leave it there. We'll be back. You have a player of the game?
Um, I mean, I don't know. Like I was disappointed in all of them. So no, they don't get a player of the game. The fans, I guess.
I'm giving it to Jonas. I want to see it. Like, I think that like this was his best game. And I like, so like, therefore I believe in the improvement. Uh, I want to see, hey, Jonas, if you average 11-9 for the rest of the SEC, like that would be good. That's what I'm saying. Like, I
I'll
need
be
that.
disappointed in you, Jonas. I want you to average 15 and 12.
But maybe it'd be hard to average that now. We're too far through the season. But maybe just going forward. You mean from this point on, 15-12, starting
Yes.
now?
Yes.
All right. Well, if
Dude,
that
I'm telling you, we
happens,
got like that's not crazy. Like, look at the
yeah,
guy. I mean, who
uh,
hurt himself like Broom. We somebody's gonna have to play like a freaking maniac. I mean, everybody can't average 13 points. Somebody's gonna have to play like a superstar.
I mean, everybody. If everybody averages 13 points, that's fine.
Well, yeah, that's true. But like somebody's gonna have to go get some buckets.
I mean, if all seven of you want to, or nine of you, but like we said, even seven, I'll take seven guys averaging 13 points. We're gonna lose again.
My microphone is shaking like crazy.
All right,
All right. Well,
Woo
sorry
pig.
guys. Woo pig.
See ya.